Hey everybody, what's going on? Icy Cat here with another map walkthrough for you. This time we're taking a look at the new map for Black Ice, the Yacht. This sprawling craft has lots of corridors and small rooms to get you turned around. So let's take a closer look at how to navigate these twists and turns next. Today we're doing the walkthrough for the Yacht map. And you're going to see that on all the weapons I'm using today, I've got the Black Ice skin. This is my new favorite. I really enjoyed the Emerald one when it came out the other week, but the ice texture to match the Black Ice theme is really slick. This looks like the weapon is made out of solid ice, and I love it. It's very cool. Now, if there's a certain section of the walkthrough that you want to jump ahead to, make sure that you look down and below in the comments and you can find your chapter marker for where you want to go. We'll start with the attacker spawns and move on to cameras and trapdoors. After that, we'll look at the general walkthrough, then drone spots, and finally we'll wrap things up with all the defensive positions as well as some general strategies to apply to that. The Yacht is a pretty large map with a lot of verticality to it. As usual, let's begin with our attacker spawn positions when looking at the map. If we start over here, we are on the submarine spawn. This is on the north end of the map. The boat is right in front of us. And we can go either to the east, straight ahead, or around to the west. And let's start over on the west side. Coming around to the rear of the craft will allow us to get onto the deck in the back. We can also come along the side of the hull, and anywhere where you see the hull meet the ice with these blue panels, you can rappel up. You can likewise rappel in this position, and anywhere in here can be repelled. You also have this odd hull door. I'm not sure what the deal with this is. I think it was just a hole that was made in the hull, and they put a barricade over it, not necessarily supposed to be a door. And this will put you in the first floor engine hallway. You can also come up the snowpack here, which makes a natural ramp, and this will put you on the exterior front deck position. You can then come in through any of these windows, up the ladder, or if you come to the front here and drop down, this will put you into the exterior anchor section of the map. Now we begin in the Zodiac spawn, and this one is going to start right by the Zodiac craft, and will give us the fastest route to get to the boat. This comes into the rear deck, just opposite of where we were with the submarine spawn. You can also head over to the side, and if you travel on this area of thinner ice, you will reach an area where you can rappel up the side of the hull. Continuing on further down, we're going to have this natural ramp made by a snowpack. If you take this up, this will put us onto the east deck. Finally, we have the snowmobile spawn position, and this one, as it says, starts by a couple of snowmobiles. We can come all the way to the west here, and what we'll wind up doing is eventually syncing up with the Zodiac spawn, which is further out in this direction. This is the snowpack ramp I was just showing you that comes up onto the east deck. We have a position against the hull where we can rappel up the side. Or if we come back to the actual snowmobiles, we have a couple of different ways we can go. We have this snowpack ramp, which will take us up to the same deck, but just further down. We can also go down into the exterior anchor area. We can come up this other snowpack ramp, which will take us way forward of that, all the way to the front section of the boat. Or we have this inconspicuous looking hole in the side of the hull, and we can go ahead and breach that. Something interesting is that it doesn't actually let you put a breaching charge on it, but anything can break that wide open. And this will take us right into the exterior anchor area. Next up, let's start taking a look at our cameras. First one we're going to find is in the 4th floor helipad entrance. So if you come in off the back helipad, it's right in the corner. And something interesting you'll notice here is that when appropriate, they have the frost covering them. So that's kind of a slick effect and helps them blend into their environment. This is going to allow you to see down the hall and check the stairs as well as over to the side of that. The next camera position is in the 3rd floor bedroom hallway right above the door. Again, this is a frosted over one, so watch out for that. This is right off the master bedroom and the casino area. This will allow the defenders to keep watch on the main stairwell, the ladder, and the hall that leads down to the casino. The next camera position is also going to be on the 3rd floor, so when you come into the rear from the back deck, You've got this giant compass thing on the middle of the floor, and over here you have a set of stairs that lead down. Directly in the corner above the stairs is where you will find your next camera position. This will allow defenders to see anybody coming up the stairs, as well as down the central stair, and the breach that we just came through will be shown, as well as the entire section of the lounge area. Moving down to the second floor, our next camera is right below the position of the other one. So these are the stairs where right above we had that third floor camera. And just in this position in the corner for the second floor back stairs is our next one. This will allow a view down that long hallway and checking the stairs here, both sets up and down, as well as a little bit of sight into the engine control room on the second floor. Coming down the long hallway where we have the main staircase, we have the second floor front stairs camera. This one is not iced over like the other ones were, so it's a little bit more visible and will allow defenders to see anybody coming up the main staircase as well as down the long hall. Down on the first floor, we only have one camera position to worry about, and that's here in the engine hallway. This is really just going to give you a line of sight down this hall and a little bit off to the side. Not much that this camera shows you at all. Now let's check out our exterior cameras. If you come right up this snowpack off the Zodiac spawn, you'll find our first exterior camera. This is on the third floor deck. Also, when you come up the stairs, it would be right above you. This is going to give defenders an eye on what's happening on this entire third floor approach, as well as the walkways on the side and the stairs coming up. Our final exterior camera is going to be in the front deck section. This one is hidden up on the mast here. It's pretty well hidden right underneath that ledge. It's going to show you the entire forward anchor area as well as approaches on either side from the main deck. Given that this map is so vertical, we have 4 floors to work with, and we're going to want to know where all of our trapdoors are. The first one we're going to start with is in the 4th floor cockpit. Breaking this trapdoor is going to put us down into the poker room. So we'll start in the cockpit, drop down into the poker room. Just west of that first trapdoor in the 4th floor captain's office is where we're going to find the next one. Opening this trapdoor is going to put us down into the casino room just below that. We've got a few trapdoors in the master bedroom as well. Both are going to put you into pretty similar positions. Let's start with the one on the north side of the master bedroom. Opening this will drop us down into the 2nd floor boreal subroom. The southern of the 2 trapdoors also drops into the same room and, as you would expect, just puts you offset of that other first one. In the 3rd floor casino, we'll find our next trapdoor. It's just over by the bar next to the door. And when we open up this one, it's going to give us a straight line right down into the 2nd floor cafeteria. A little further down the hall from the casino, we'll have the next trapdoor position. This is the 3rd floor globe hallway. Opening up this trapdoor will allow us to come straight down into the 2nd floor kitchen. Next up in the 3rd floor lounge, hidden right behind this L-shaped bar, is where you'll find the next trapdoor position. When you expose this one, this will allow us to get into the kitchen from the other side and drop down behind the countertops. There's 2 trapdoors located on the 2nd floor. The first one will be located in the infirmary. So in the infirmary room, you open up the floor, and this will take you straight into the 1st floor front stairs in the engine hallway. The second of the 2 interior trapdoors is going to be located in the 2nd floor engine control. We're going to drop straight into the room below us, which is a half-open room, but this will allow us to get a different angle than coming down the stairs would. There is one other trapdoor on this floor, but it's on the outside. If you come out to the back, this is the exterior rear deck section off the 2nd floor, and opening up this one will allow us to get all the way into the rear of the engine compartment in the back entrance, right next to the door that can be breached. Now let's take a look at the general walkthrough for the map. As we start this floor, let's take an overview of what we're seeing here. We've got the cockpit and captain's office area, and then merging into the maps room and further down the hall into the end section with the helipad. I'm going to start all the way up on the top floor as we always do. You can actually get one deck up. You could rappel up another section, and you can get up here, but there's no purpose to doing so. You can't get into a trapdoor or get any lines of sight through there. And if we come through the cockpit balcony, you can take this around, and it wraps around to the other door over there. So we'll come into the main 4th floor cockpit. Immediately we have a choice of staying up on this floor or going down through the hatch and the ladder here. We have a trapdoor in this room. In the captain's office, just to the side, we have another trapdoor. Any of these walls that you'll see with this brown texture of wood with the tiling can be breached. And if we come through this section, you will have the back of the maps room through here. and you can get some good lines in there. Let's come back around the other side. So this is now coming out of the front of the cockpit, or the rear of the cockpit actually, into the hallway. Here's where we have the map room. This is where I just made that hole from the captain's office. Any of these brown wooden walls can be breached. You'll notice that they have this frosted texture on them. Everything in the map winds up gaining a frosted texture. So if you put down, if you're in a section where it's got this like ice mist frost sort of thing going on, if you put down a reinforced wall panel, it'll take on that texture. If you put down a deployable shield, it'll take on the texture. You can see it does also coat the cameras. It's just sort of an interesting thing where it's so cold that anything sort of gets covered with that same cold effect. Very slick. So going back into here, we've got some sections that wrap around. If you want, you can come back through this section to the helipad entrance. Let's just open that up. Here we've got the helipad. This is one area where you could come up. It has some ladders and some rappel points that you could have come up from. And coming through here, you'll have the main stairway that goes down. One thing you can do as a defender is you can make a hole and, wait for anybody to come up through this section. Likewise, you can open up a hole in the back and sort of do the same thing from that angle. If you want, you can also be in here and you can keep an eye on the doors that come through the front of the cockpit. On this floor, let's take a look and see what we have. We've got the lounge, and then we go across into the globe hall area, the casino, the poker room, and then finally open up into the master bedroom suite area. Now, let's go down to the third floor. We'll start here in the third floor lounge. Let's just open up this back section. And this is where we could come through from the spa deck. So coming through this area from the third floor lounge, we have some good cover points behind some of these counters. These walls are breachable. I'll show you what that looks like from the reverse side. This is the globe hallway. And if you follow this around, this turns into the casino. Let's come through the back area here. We have some stairs that go down. And then this room is going to be the casino proper. If we remember, there's a stairway on the other side of this wall, so you can create some lines of sight that will keep an eye on that. Or if you want, you can come up to this wall right here as a defender. If you open up a hole in it, now you can engage anybody that might come through that rear door. That would be the left of these two walls that you can watch. You can also open up a line to sort of watch. Of course, that plank of wood would get in the way. Down the hall from this position as well. So any walls with this kind of checkered texture can be breached in this way. Doesn't really apply to the ceilings, though. In fact, one thing, I'll just get this out of the way. Every map sort of has its own little exception to it. And the one for this map is that none of the ceilings or floors can be breached. They're all metal. And if you think about it, it's the decking of a ship, so you wouldn't be able to breach through any of the points, except for where you have trapdoors. So keep that in mind. No ceiling or floor breaches in this map. Inside of the poker room, just off the casino, we have an area with wooden walls. This overlooks the spiral staircase, sort of a spiral anyway. Or you can knock a hole in the wall for the hallway through here. Let's just kind of come back out this way. So none of these walls can be breached. None of these beige colored walls can be breached. Only these wooden ones. So this whole wall can be breached. This whole back wall here can be breached. If we come in through here, what we have is that these walls can also be breached. They're that same checkered texture. This is the master bathroom off of the master bedroom. You could watch those stairs from this side if you were interested in doing that. And you can actually come out onto this ledge if you wanted to do that. And keep an eye maybe on the stairs this way. It's a little risky because you're somewhat exposed, but you could do it. On this section of the map, let's start with the exterior anchor view and show you the approach on that. We come into the sub area, and then down from there we have the infirmary, the cafeteria, the staff dorms, and the kitchen. After the kitchen, we have the engine control area upper deck. So starting from the snowmobile spawn, I'm just going to come over and check out this hole in the front section of the hull. Anything will destroy this. It has takes no damage to go through here. None at all. And we can come through. We can go up a ladder here if we want. And this will take us on the exterior front deck. We can kind of play around by coming out the sides. This is right above us is where we have that camera that we saw before. Let me just get back down again. Okay, so this is the exterior anchor section. And we can come through here. And we can go through the door like you would typically expect. Or these walls can be, so you can come breached. Even though they're exterior walls, you can come through them. And this is going to hold true over here as well. You could breach under if you right through this if you wanted to. Same with this panel. So we find ourselves in the Boreal subroom. This section doesn't really have much in the way of breaching until you get all the way back into the corner here. And then any of these wooden walls. So these wooden walls look a little different in texture than the brown tiled ones on the floor above us. But these are wooden walls and they can still be breached. Here's what they look like when they're not covered in frost. So any of these sort of teal colored metal walls you can't breach, but any of these wooden ones you can. And we have this corridor here off the second floor front stairs. This is a cafeteria hallway. Just to the left is where we have our cafeteria. So let's come in here and check this out. Again, we can open up holes in these walls. And coming through here, we're going to have... this back corner wall is an interesting one. You can make a nice little murder hole on that and watch anybody as they come up through the hall there. And let me come out the way we came in. So this is the door we came in. Again, long hallway. If we go to the right instead, we find ourselves in the second floor infirmary. And these are also breachable walls here, so you could shoot through these and keep an eye on things. These striped walls with the wallpaper on them, these can be breached if you would have any reason to want to do that. The blue hole. Also on this side, we have more of these back panel walls. I'm going to come back to this one in a minute. So coming around the corner here, again, wooden walls can be breached. We have the kitchen hallway and the kitchen area. So if you were in here as a defender and wanted to keep an eye on things, you can make a murder hole and then sort of watch that hallway. The stairs that go down, or you can come back to this part of the kitchen and you can keep an eye on things from this side if you wanted. If you want, you can get access into a little utility room that's right through here. Stair. And this, that way if you want to come through into the engine room and have a little bit of protection, some cover, you could do that. There's also a ladder that drops down right there. But let's get back into the kitchen. The kitchen section. These are the stairs that come back up to the top of where we were before. So this is the globe hallway and the casino area. And if we come into this back room, this is the kitchen pantry. The reason that I think this is sort of an interesting area is if we go back into the staff dormitory right here. So this is the room I was before where I said we'll get back to this wall. If you come through here and open that up, it's sort of a protected way into the kitchen, and then you can engage from the front, or you can open up a hole inside and engage that way, whatever it is you need to do. Continuing down the kitchen hallway, this turns into the second floor back stairs. So we have sort of a junction here of stairs that go up and down. Going up takes us to where we were before. This is the third floor lounge section. Or you can go down into the engine compartment. Coming through here, so the other side here is where the kitchen was, is the engine control section. This outer door is a spot that we can come in from. If we start on the Zodiac spawn, we'll come up the stairs and be on this side. Or you can come up the other side if you're on the submarine spawn. And we have a trapdoor on the floor. And you can see down here, this is a protected area in that you can get some shots down there a little bit. And the bullets do penetrate through that. That's not glass or anything. That's sort of a mesh wire covering. This is the smallest of all the floors. As you can see, there's not much to it. We have the engine room, the server room, and the supply room, but other than that, it's mostly the engine hallway that connects to the other side of the boat, with the exception of a couple very, very small closet-sized rooms off the side. Coming down the stairs here, so this is a room that sort of separates 2 floors, and this brings us down into the engine compartment. And this entire back section can be breached. I'm actually going to come around from the other side and do that just to show you what it looks like. So let's go out the door that we opened up here. Come to the rear of the boat. So this is, the Zodiac spawn on this side or the sub spawn on that side. And this entire panel can be opened up. If we put a breaching charge or anything like that on here, we can hit that and that will take us down. We also do have that trapdoor, as we talked about before, straight above us. And this brings us into our engine room. These walls cannot be breached, so you can't push through these. They're metal. Coming into the engine control room, we have these, blocky engines here that are good for cover. You'll want to watch the area underneath the stairs. Oftentimes people will be hidden in there. These walls with the striped paneling are all breachable. This one opens into the first floor server room. Conversely, this one opens into first floor engine storage. Again, these wood paneled walls can be breached. This whole wall can be breached. That whole wall can be breached. This is where we had the stairs before, so just for a point of reference, I'll come back up. So that was the engine room. Those are the stairs that go up. That's the kitchen hallway. We come down here. You'll have to be careful coming down these stairs. You can get shot through these railings. And then we have the hallway here, the first floor engine hallway. This little side room, the emergency exit, comes up. And this puts us in that engine utility room that we were in before. So that's just the other side of this room. Let me come back down. And go back out into the hallway again. So we have this long hall here. There's no rooms off to either side of it. You can come around here. We do have a camera position right above us. And then come around again. So this small room here, it's so small it doesn't even have its own name. It's first floor engine hallway, but if you started on the submarine spawn, this would be the hull breach that got boarded up that you could come through. Coming back out into the first floor hallway. And then we hit the main spiral staircase, which again comes back up to the second floor, which is right off of the sub room. Real quick, I do want to touch on something that is potentially concerning, is that there's a lot of spaces where defenders can come out and get a line on spawn positions. Like that right there is a snowmobile spawn position. Now, you have a pretty narrow field of view on it, but you can hit it. And you can come over here if they've come up that snowpack ramp. You can get them before they get in. You can come over here and you can sort of see part of the approach they might take, especially if you come through this section. You can really get them on right on the other side of that is where they will come through if they start at the Zodiac spawn, and you can get them, or you can come over and hit over here. There's the actual Zodiac right there. That's literally like right where you start is right there. You can also look down on the sub spawn right here. I really worry about the possibility of spawn killing on this map. They do have sections where it's blocked off to prevent you from doing so if you're on certain angles. Like you can't hit them on that spawn position there, but once they run across, you can hit them. Or if they run across this way, you could hit them. There's just so many angles that you could hit them before they even get into the building, and I'm a little worried about that. Knowing the fastest routes to get through with your drone is going to be a key to navigating this map quickly. And we have a couple of vents here to get us started. In the rear deck, if you come in right off the end of the craft, this is going to put us right into the first floor engine room. We actually have 2 of these. The other one's right on the opposite side of that. So the first one was right here, and our next one is just on the other side of this closed door. And this is going to put us into the same area. It's just you have one of these entrances off of either side. On the third floor, we have a few of these on the exterior, and we're going to start with the east deck. So if we come along the side, we're right below the first balcony, and coming in through the east deck entrance is going to put us into the third floor globe hallway. Coming down further on this side, about halfway down the length, is going to be our next entrance from the east deck, which will put us in the third floor casino hallway, just further down from that other one. If you move just a little bit further down that same deck, you're going to come through the drone entrance and find yourself in the master bedroom. Right on the other side, just forward of the ladder, we're going to find our next drone entrance. This is on the west deck side, and coming through is going to put us into the third floor poker room. We'll find our last one on the west deck all the way at the rear, and if we come through this drone entrance, this is going to put us right into the third floor lounge, sort of behind this bar here by the trapdoor. Coming through the casino, if we're in the hallway, this is right where we came through off of the east deck entrance. And if we come through this position just to the east of that, we'll find ourselves in the third floor bathroom, which grants fast access to the master bedroom. In the third floor bedroom hallway, this is right off the stairs and the ladder that drops down. We've got a vent at the base of the ladder, and this will put us right through into the poker room where we also had that other one from the exterior west deck. Also on the exterior of the rear deck on the second floor, we can come through this entrance. This is just off the engine control room, coming through into the second floor back stairs area. Taking this a little further down, we find ourselves in the second floor kitchen hallway. And if you check to the north here, you've got a little drone access that comes underneath the stuff in the kitchen. Puts you right underneath everything nice and quickly. There's a lot of really good spots in here when you're rolling around with the drone, especially in the engine area and the lower deck. So if I come over here, I can hop up on top of these crates, and then with a series of well-timed jumps, I can get up on top of this mesh grating here. This helps really disguise your drone when it's rolling around up on the top, and keeps you pretty well concealed. You can also get in on the side of the engine compartment here and sort of hide in behind these wires. In the supply room, you can get on top of one of the shelves in here. It's not too hard to get up there and find an angle, but it's a pretty confined room, so I don't know how much use it is. So if you can get up on top of this engine and then another one on top of the wheel, then turn and you can get up on these pipes. This is a pretty concealed spot. People won't think to look for you up here, and you'll get some good intel while watching from the cover of these pipes. Further down the hall from there, you can get up on top of these machines, and that'll give you a little bit of a sight into what's going on down the hall. But there's not a lot of action that tends to happen in this area, so it's of limited use, but you can roll around back and forth up here. There is one objective that takes place in the staff dorms, so if you hop up on top of this bed and then come up to the dartboard, you can then get up onto the upper bed. And, you know, you're fairly well spotted from there, but it's a spot that at least allows you to sort of cover the room. If we come over into the cafeteria, we've got some spaces where we can get underneath the tables and get into these like little nooks and crannies. People might not think to look for you there. The kitchen is going to tend to be more about getting underneath things, just, you know, staying underneath shelving units and things like that is going to be pretty good. Although there is one exception in the back corner here. If you can get up on top of this, I don't know if it's a proofer or what this is exactly, but if you get up on there, that's a spot that's a little higher at least. Coming up in the control room, this is interesting because you'd think that you can roll up on this grating, but it won't let you get up. But if you can get up on this one thick knob switch, you can at least look down a little bit and see into the corners of the room from an elevated position. You can also get underneath the desk and into the corner. Up here on the third floor, we can get up into the bar and look around. If you can get behind some of the bottles, you'll do all right. This one in the corner is a neat one. It's right underneath the Defender camera, and it's in some vegetation. If you can get up there, you can keep your camera pretty well hidden and still keep a good eye on what's going on in the lounge. It's risky, but if you can get up on top of the shelves in the back of the casino bar, that's a spot that you could go. Another one I like is actually going right on top of the slot machines. They make a lot of noise, and getting up there is pretty well concealable. Making a small jump from this cooler on top of the bookshelf will give you some kind of line in the poker room. Here's one I really like in the cockpit. So if you come in and you get right behind these consoles immediately, just jump up behind here, you can go back and forth behind them and you're covered and protected. They really can't see you back there all that well, and it's a good spot that you can just roll up from every once in a while as you need to. Jumping up on this desk will then allow you to get up on top of here and then over to the bookshelf, and this is a good spot to keep an eye on the map room from. You can jump up on one of the consoles in here and kind of get in behind the pipes, and that's a spot that you can do. Another good one is to jump over on this other console instead and then get up on top of this machine. and you can kind of take a look around from there. That's a little bit more covered. Next up, let's take a look at some defensive strategies. Beginning with bomb defusal, we'll start in the cockpit and the maps room. So bomb B is going to be in the maps room, and one thing I like to do is maybe blow a hole in the wall that connects the captain's office, and that way you can kind of come through pretty quickly and respond to anybody attempting to defuse bomb A. I'm going to recommend reinforcing the wall panels here so that they can't come through on you though, and also maybe sticking one on this wall as well. And you're just going to watch that door. You're also going to keep an eye on this back section. One thing you can do is, this rear section is somewhat covered, and you can do a few things. You can make a hole in the wall here and watch them as they come up this stairwell. And that if they don't come up that way and they surprise you, you've at least got the ability to fast react to whatever's happening there. Another thing you can do is you can set a smoke grenade or something there, and they can't see it until they kind of come around. See, I've got this hole in the wall kind of already there, and if I'm looking at this door, it's pretty easy to miss. I mean, I guess you can see it, but what you can do then is set that off and just keep an eye through the hole. And as soon as you see them come around the area, you're just going to fill that area up with gas. Another area you can do that with is in the front section. You can toss a smoke grenade just here to the side of the door. You can also do this with a nitro cell too. You can do it on either door. I like to do it on that one. And then what I've done is I've opened up holes in this wall. I mean, if you only have one hole in the wall and you're looking through it, if you come through here, you're going to know, oh, shoot that one. But if you have a whole bunch of holes, they're not going to know which one to shoot, which one you might be peeking through. So, just keep an eye on your door. You can see my smoke grenade right there. And if they were to breach through that door, I could just open that up and take them out as they come in. Or I could do that with a nitro cell. Next up on our list of bomb defusal sites is the second floor kitchen and engine control area. In the kitchen, you're going to want to maybe set up somebody like Tachanka. He can cover a good section of the angles. He can hit that wall. He can defend coming through the door. He can hit that wall. He can shoot into the back pantry, coming down the stairs here. Even this back wall should they come through the utility room. And that's going to give him a lot of versatility. Plus, he can respond to anybody that drops through this trapdoor here or that drops through this trapdoor in the back. It's got some pretty good angles that he can do overall. Something you might want to do is have somebody come down and maybe make a murder hole in the floor here and get a long shot down that hallway. And conversely, you're going to want to keep, maybe set up some kind of a trap here, a welcome mat or a laser trip mine, something like that. And this back wall, go ahead and open that up. That way you can respond to anybody that might be trying to defuse the bomb in there. If they set it off to the side, you might have a bit of a blind spot. So if you keep this wall open, maybe with some C4, I didn't have C4 on this character, but if you had C4 here, you could open that up and then come around pretty quickly. The next bomb to defend is going to be in the second floor cafeteria or in the staff dorm. This one is tricky because the walls can't really be blown through to connect them. If you're in the staff dorm, this is all metal wall here, and across from you is a metal wall with only a partial. So you could open up a hole this way, but again, you've got a lot of obstructions there with equipment that's in the way. So almost what's better to do is go ahead and kind of seal up your end and then put 1 or 2 defenders in this bomb and 1 or 2 defenders on that bomb, and then have maybe your 5th man roaming. And that's going to help you out probably the best because there's no way to fast respond between these two. You can open up this wall on the east and keep an eye on the stairs as well as anybody coming through the sub entrance, and that'll work pretty well there. Make some good use of some of the laser trip mines or the welcome mats to sort of stop the attackers. This wall definitely reinforced. On the other side of this is the sub room, and they'll come through here if you haven't reinforced this one. There's also a trapdoor up top, so go ahead and reinforce that. If you can't, then at least drop a welcome mat down below to catch them if they land. And the other one I'm going to recommend is this wall if you just want to make a murder hole here. And then anybody that comes down this hall, you should be able to get a pretty good drop on. The final bomb defusal area is going to be in the server room and the supply room downstairs in the engine compartment. This is an interesting one. They're both right next to each other. They're literally across the hall from each other, so they're very easy to fast respond to. You can open up the walls and, make sure that you can get them no matter how they come in. I'm going to recommend reinforcing these back panels and also this wall. Although you can leave this end one open and keep an eye on anybody coming down this main hallway here. You can also keep an eye on triggering anything like a smoke grenade or a C4. You will need to be careful of this area here, so find a way to trap that or otherwise keep an eye on it. You can also do that by leaving an opening here and engaging through here if you want to do that. This wall is pretty well protected, so I mean, nobody can come through here, nobody can come through here, there's no trapdoor in here, so you only have to worry about this side wall and these panels. Maybe open up a hole in this wall so you can keep an eye on this back door. This back breach is one that they'll come through very frequently, and they'll oftentimes come through here or through the trapdoor, and so when they come out, you're going to be blind until they either break left or right. So if you leave like maybe this panel open and then this panel open, you can see when they come through. When you have them come through here and funnel through the section, you can have a gas grenade go off, and then if you're watching, you know when to trigger it, and then boom, they're right in the middle of it and they didn't see it coming. If you can get a line of sight on the stairs, you can also do something like that by placing one there and just sort of letting that fill the area as they come through and try to come into this section. Of course, those kinds of gas grenades work well anywhere. You can place them up in the ceiling where maybe they're a little harder to detect, and then when you fire them off, it'll fill the whole section like that as well. Most of the positions for hostage rescue are going to be the same as they were in bomb defusal. There's one that's different, though, and that's going to be the casino poker room area. So when you have a hostage, it's going to be in the poker room. And some things that you can do are reinforcing this side wall. Be careful of the drone access vents. There's one there. There's also one from the exterior. You can set up some shock wire, kind of like this position, because it'll also get them if they come through the window. You can blow a hole in the wall if you want to keep an eye on the stairs, or also into the master bedroom should they breach through there. Don't put all your defenses in this one room. It is way too small. And you do have a trapdoor above you that can be breached as well. So have either a shock wire or a welcome mat or something waiting to catch anybody should they come through. Then coming out into the casino, expand your defense into here as well. You know, maybe have a guy in the corner here. I would only really have one guy in the poker room. 2 at the most if you have one that's dedicated to watching a murder hole. But, you know, have somebody in the corner here keeping an eye on the door, and this can respond to this other door. Have some kind of a trap waiting underneath this door so that if they jump down, they'll land on that. Then on this back wall, you can create a murder hole for the stairs down below. And then over here behind the bar, you can do one of a few things. You can make one and watch the long sight and then just respond to either the door or the stairs that are behind that wall. Or you can come back a little deeper and then just maybe make it more confined and just watch only this area. Then should something happen over here, you can turn and respond quickly, or you can, if somebody comes up the stairs, you can respond quickly there too. A secure area has many of the same positions that bomb defusal did as well, and you're going to apply the same tactics, just tighten them down for a smaller room. The one that's going to be different, though, is the sub-room on the second floor that isn't available in the other modes. This is an interesting one to lock down because there's so many different ways to come in. You've got this whole back L shape here to worry about. I would definitely reinforce this back wall for sure. Maybe even a castle barricade or something on this wall. These exterior walls can be breached like we were talking about before. You can use that to your advantage. I mean, you can shoot out through them. Or you can go ahead and reinforce these things. I prefer to reinforce because they can control from the outside far too effectively with long range and shoot in. And you don't want to give them that ability. So what you can do is kind of create these choke points, and then when they funnel through, you can hit the gas grenade on them or something like that. You have trapdoors to worry about. Got one there, and you've got one here. So you can send somebody up to take care of those, or you can throw down some welcome mats or shock wire instead. And then in this back corner here might be a good place to stick a deployable shield since you can't get hit from behind or the side. Just got to worry about that one trapdoor a little bit. But if it's reinforced, you'll be okay. And then just try to make use of your angles as best you can. This is a tricky room to defend because there's so many walls that they can come through. Well, that concludes our walkthrough of the Yacht map, the first of the new maps in the Season 1 DLC. Hopefully this map guide will help you with the fastest way to get to your objectives when you're playing in matches. Remember to check your compass and your room locations in the lower corner of the screen to always keep your bearings. Also keep in mind that the special level design feature for this map means that you cannot breach between floors with the exception of using the trapdoors. So no partial breaches on any floors, no cluster charges on any floors. Right now, we're also doing a giveaway for a Rainbow Six Bronze Credit Pack. This is worth 600 credits, and you can use this to purchase one of the 2 new operators. Or if you'd like, you can combine it with some credits you might already have and buy one of the Tier 5 weapon skins. To enter into the drawing, all you have to do is like or follow IcyCat on Facebook or Twitter. Send me a private message with your Uplay ID. That's what we need to send the rainbow credits directly to your Uplay account. There will be 4 winners chosen from this video, and I'll keep doing that until supplies run out for each new video. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe so you stay up to date on all the latest news and information for Rainbow Six Siege. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.